Well, well, well. Welcome back. I see you're here after my knowledge, my painting knowledge. This will be a beginner tutorial on how to paint Spider-Man. Or draw Spider-Man, whichever you'd like. Choose a brush here to start our drawing with. I have a new layer. We got a background on gray. And we're just going to jump in and start sketching this dude. It doesn't matter about proportions because we can always just grab it, resize it, whatever we want to do. So I'm just going to draw a circle for the head. He's kind of looking up a little bit. Like I said, I'm not worried about the proportions at all because we can always change that. Looking up this way a little bit. Also too, my line art, don't give two shits about it. Him being Spider-Man, I don't even care much about his facial features. Other than his nose is about somewhere like right here. Doesn't have to be perfect. He's looking like this right here. His eyebrow kind of going up. This will help us put the mask on the man. Get his chin about right. His lips are somewhere up here. Like I said, none of this really matters because we can always come back and fix it later. Now the nose kind of sweeps around to where the ear is. But again, you're not going to be able to see that because he's going to have a damn mask on. Just get the basics. I'm going to create a new layer. Put this down low. Try to get it a little bit more accurate this time. Remember, this is going to be a painting, not a drawing. So we really don't care. And here he's going to have his arms out looking very superhero. Superhero-ish. Alright, so we're already running out of room. So we can just take it. Come over here. Click the move button. Shrink it down. Hit enter. Go ahead and get rid of this back line. And I want to keep the rule of thirds in mind here, but it's not a big deal right now. We can always move him around wherever we want to go. Just getting the basic outline. We'll shrink it down just a little bit more. Alright, you can really see the deltoids over here. I'm just going to mark them in and we'll check them for proportions later to see if they're even close. His arm's more like kind of backwards too. It goes ever so slightly back out. You don't want to give him an hourglass look and make him look like a girl. Yeah, remember, just keep the drawing very rough. We'll take this hand, it goes kind of out here, around to the hips. And for now, we'll just put some basic shapes in. Yeah, see this hand is lifted much further out. There's a thumb. We'll put some of this in now, just in case. He's kind of got this leg lifted. We'll put him some underwear on just to keep track for now. We don't want to make the mistake of seeing something we don't want to see. No cocks in my paintings, please. I like to think of the forearms as kind of like an oval. This dude in my reference. I'll show you my reference. This is my reference. The dude has some serious deltoids. Avoiding drawing the hands will really make your paintings look like shit. Because it'll make you look like you can't draw hands, which Let's be honest, who can draw hands, am I right? Let's see if we can turn it. Oh, we can. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? See what I mean? Digital painting. So easy. So we really could just start painting right now if we wanted to. Okay. Let's lower the opacity again. And let's get in there with some detail. So I've also got a bunch of Spider-Man pictures pulled up too, so that we can really get a good reference. I picked a darker blacker color. Oh, you forgot to create a new layer. Create a new layer. Okay. Really going to try to be a little bit more accurate now. Yeah, we don't have to worry about the chin because it'll all be hidden. Now, when you're doing your line work isn't so important when it comes to painting. Though you want to avoid like wiggly lines. You want to move your hand quick to create these nice smooth edges. And if you can't, you can come here to smoothing, turn this bad boy on, and it really helps smooth your stuff out. So let's try it. Actually, I made a mistake here. You won't see the nose. You'll actually see, for Spider-Man, we can give him a little bit of a nose, but it's mostly going to be just this fabric here. And then we're going to do the head all the way around. I don't worry about the thickness of my lines too much. And our neck, we can be a little bit creative with our neck, but in the beginning you can just keep a lot of straight lines. One thing that I'm realizing right now that we definitely screwed up on is his neck is a little too short. Let's take the marquee tool again, slice him up, move him up a little bit. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. I want to turn the smoothing down. That's way too high. I'm going to turn mine off, and you can always press the redo button or the undo button every time you do a line that you don't like. No problem. Let's press the erase button and come here to layer 2 and just erase these lines that don't make no sense because we moved the head. I don't think we have to worry too much about the nipples, and I'm not sure how crazy I'm going to go with these deltoids either. This dude has some serious deltoids. Maybe it'll be fun to throw them in. And to make him look super manly, you can make his muscles very square. Again, notice my lines aren't perfect, and this is all just preliminary so I can get the drawing or the painting going. And we can come back at any moment in our painting and adjust. Now, it does get harder to adjust the further that you get into your painting. There's like a curving of the chest right here. And these, I forget what these are called, but they kind of go out a little bit like this. I need to learn the name of my muscles. And it kind of does it over here too, like just a little bit of like they're not love handles, it's just where these, the obliques, that's what they're called. They're kind of like go like this, you know. But we can leave a lot of this out because it's just a suit. Let's see if we can't put in some of this detail in there. So when you're drawing men are like this, and women are reverse. Women are short here, and then they have this triangle down at the bottom. Just keep that in mind. So when we're painting our dude, we want his chest to be larger, but his hips small. Is setting somewhere in this angle like this. It's like a, yeah. And then you get a little bit of the tricep in there like this. It's kind of what it looks like. If you aren't using hotkeys when you're painting, you definitely should. All right. Save the best for last, the hands. All right, I like to think of everything as three-dimensional. You've really got to get used to that. And remember, if the hands are too small or too big, we can always grab them and enlarge them. So just worry about the shape. So the hands are curved like this. And you can leave those on there if you want. And this part is curved like this. So when you're doing your shading, you got to keep that in mind. So you see the two knuckles here, and these two, they disappear almost. So a third of half the hand, the fingers are right here. So like so. And then this finger is right here. And then these two, just leave them lost like that right there. His mask comes out about right here, maybe. I guess we could stylize it, do whatever we want, really. Just kind of marking it in, not worried about the quality of my line art. Just trying to see exactly where it's going to go and make sure it looks like it's curved around his head. And we've got a lot of choices about how we can do his chest. Tons of different styles. You know, I'm realizing here now that I don't have a real good grasp on his. I think it's like literally right here. And remember, the chest is curved, so we have to follow the curve like this. And I guess, is it following this line? His suit? I guess it is. It's following his line all the way down to his belt here. So this other line will come down here. Remember, you can be as sloppy as you want. And then he's going to have like a belt right here. Remember, it only has to be believable to the eye. Doesn't matter if it's technically right or wrong. Let's make everything lower opacity again. And remember, we want a background as well. But let's put in the values. The values is by far the most important part of your painting. If your values suck, no one is going to believe your artwork, period. Doesn't matter how good the line work is. That's why I say the line work really doesn't matter. Not when you're a painter. I like to start with 3 values, but I like to keep them close to each other. So my first value is going to be this one. Then my second value is going to be a little bit darker, this one. And then my third value is going to be darker still, this one. And this will keep everything nice and simple. And we'll build off of these 3. So I like to start with the darker one. And we're going to come in here, create a new layer, and it's underneath our drawing layer. And I'm going to fill pretty much everything in. Once we get this base color in, we can lock the transparency right here. Take note of this, it's very, very useful. Then when we paint, look at that, only paints on what we've already painted. And that's Control Z to undo that. Also, to grab your color, which is also very important, you hold down the Alt key. Now what we could do, create a new layer. We can pick a soft brush, like this one. This has got a lot of noise in it, so it's kind of cool. Pick a lighter color, like let's say this one. And then use this to hint at where the light is. And then come back and erase where the light isn't that we put on there. I'm going to go a little bit brighter. So make this a little bit brighter. And just put down where we see the light. And you'll see that very quickly it becomes 3-dimensional. And we can come back and erase it where we don't want it. Yeah, just like that. We'll leave it like this for now, but we can definitely put more light in there. There's some light on the chest here. Now the light shows the form. It shows the three-dimensionality of our character. There's some light in the hand here. This is what makes our character believable. Because if the suit, like let's say here, is red, and this is the same color of red right here, then the shadows must be equal. They must be the same value. Because it's the same color hitting the same light. So if you use too many of the different colors, different values, you will screw that up. And for now, we're going to keep all of our lines straight and not worry about mixing anything too much. Like if this is a little bit blurry here, we don't care. Keeping it simple until we can't anymore. And a large part of this is just finding where all those values are. And it can take a long time when you're a beginner to find out exactly where they all are. But if you don't give up, you just keep going, you will find it. A lot of it too is the work that you're doing with your brush. It is not easy to figure out how to do brush work and just color all this in. Remember, you do not have to be a slave to your reference. Remember, what we're doing is just coloring in the light. We're putting where the light is and where the shadows are. And we'll have to come back and blend some of this to make it look better. A shadow like this. Sometimes the tool we're using just simply isn't fine enough. I'm trying to use mostly just one or two. So I think what we're doing that's wrong a little bit is that this light, this white, is way too white. And instead we should be working with this color and this color. And this should be more of like a highlight color, this third color. So let's come back in and paint just a little bit light, a darker area. This is all part of hunting for the exact right values that we want. Now imagine if we were trying to do this and also use color. There should be a little bit right here because his forehead kind of dips down. And part of the reason why he looks like this is because we use the crazy brush. Look at this brush. Okay. Now we're going to start the overpainting process. And we're going to merge these two down. And we're going to paint right on top. And we're going to switch over from looking to this dude to looking at Spider-Man. Alright, and he's got super white eyes. We'll make it this color. We're going to use the same color as the white on the back side here to keep the values similar. You can always change them later. Cheek is going to be lit up just a little bit here. Yeah, into this mask area. Bottom of the nose is going to remain dark, but around the chin, we can do whatever we want just to make it look a little 3D. We can do whatever we want to do. We can even put like grab that color and just drag it across some of the, not the white, but just the black to give it some depth. This nose here is actually going to be a little bit more in shadow. And maybe even some of this area here. Now see, all we've done is make it complicated. That's all we've done. We've not made it any more accurate, just complicated. Our eye is confused because there's just so much crap going on now. Now these lines will follow the body in a very particular way. They follow the creases of the body, so you don't want to draw the line straight down and it'll look flat. And this one here, I think, will curve around. Now, I put this on a new layer. This will make our Spider-Man look very 3D too. This, which means there's another one. Comes down here, curves around. We're going to go ahead and outline this part too, because this is part of his suit. Looks like this one thing I'm looking at is freaking AI. Alright, this one will probably go here. This is the worst part of drawing Spider-Man, or the funnest part. So these things, I'm pretty sure they stair-step down his chest. Right? And there's probably a line that goes right down the middle here. I think the symbol itself goes right there. Let's see if we can't draw that in real quick. You gotta think about the contours of how it would go around his chest. Actually, I guess it would be further over here. Yeah. Actually, it would just curve right on down, like right there. And then it would do the same thing right here. Then the arms curves in. The other one, try to do the best we can. I'm not going to break out the ruler. Remember, it's got to follow the contours of his face. Hey, where did my little circle go? Might actually curve and go into this. Yeah. And this one will do the same thing. Curve and go right into that. And then these. Yep, and we'll put shadows right here in the chin to lose that a little bit to make it easier on ourselves. I think I can turn the smoothing down some. I don't need that much help. Maybe I do, jeez. Go out further here. Does it go right at the chin? I don't know. It looks like shit. Let's see. And then, of course, I think there's 3 at the top. Does it curve around his head? When you can't do it that way, you turn it this way. I don't know if that's right or not. So we're just going to have to wing it. I assume they would probably put another one right here. We're going to. So we only have to do one. Now, we will have to come back and make some of these, put lights on some of these, because right now they're defying our values that we put in. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. We don't want people to think we drew it with an AI or anything. We just want it to be cool looking, you know. I think we've done that already. It looks pretty cool. But we're not done yet. And follow like the stomach muscles. Like right here. Actually, you know what? I think they all come from the abdomen. Or the head, not the abdomen itself. So remember, it has to curve around these muscles. That's why it looks weird. It's not square. The lines actually will continue on down to his belt. Keep in mind they're going around stomach muscles. There's one that comes right out of his butt. We're going to make these go at an angle. That's what I'm kind of seeing. I don't know. Kind of make them hump a little bit. That way they look like they're going over the stomach muscles. Alright, so it looks like there's many different designs that we can go for the belt. They can connect here. And then we'll just give him a simple belt. Go around the hips. Remember, we're working with 3D things here. Guess we can even outline it like that for fun. Like this, and then there's like these lines that are going as well. I didn't realize how complicated his suit was. I don't know if this part's right. We'll just keep it like that. I'm not sure if that's right either, but it'll be fine for now. I'm not too worried about it. We'll redraw it later if I don't like it. Okay, so we've drawn our Spider-Man thus far. Not great, but not horrible. Now what we need to do is we'll come in, we'll create a new layer over top of everything. We might do it underneath this Spider-Man thing for the moment. Let's do it underneath. Right here. And let's add the color of the suit in. Now notice it will keep the darks and the lights that we put in. It will change the color of our red automatically. We also used a very harsh red, but I think Spider-Man, generally speaking, is a very harsh red, maybe even redder than that. Spider-Man has to be one of my favorite comic book characters. There's so many boring ones. Superman. You know, Batman's pretty cool. Spider-Man, something about his suit, style of blue. Yeah, see how it keeps that shadow as we paint over the blue? That is what we want. And when we go back over and paint this again, we can use another layer like overlay to overlay over on top of all of this and to keep everything, the values the same. Alright, that kind of looks like Spider-Man. What? Getting a tornado warning here. Isn't that fun? If this video gets uploaded, you'll know that I survived. Continuing the process of exploration. Let's just create a new layer and just use the colors we actually already have here. Let's go a little bit darker. And put some darker shadows in this area right here. Just do a brighter light and we'll move it a little bit towards a more warmer color. Oh yeah. Got Got to go lighter. Let's go even warmer with it. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, I really like that. Let's continue. Let's see what it looks like when we paint it on the blue too. Because we're really essentially just painting light. There we go. A little bit of bounce light, tiny, easy touching right here. Let's do a little bit more bounce light and some right here. There's some veins here as well, but through a costume, I doubt you're going to be able to see any veins. We just want to make it look complex. Look, we didn't even do much to these hands, and it has a bit of complexity to it, doesn't it? You just got to keep going over and over and over until you find something you like, until something works for you. And then when you learn from that, then you can do it faster the next time. And you keep doing that over and over and over. You just keep going till you find that sweet spot. Now the light coming from this direction is a different color light than coming from this direction. So it would be a mistake to use this over here. It's just a different light, and that's why this here is a mistake. This light is different. It's a different color, and so it will have a different intensity. I'm gonna light this chin up just a little bit. Not too much. Come back here and turn it a little bit. Yeah. It's not too bad. I love texture. I love seeing the texture of these brushes come out. Like one thing you can do is take your brush, mark over it, and then pick that color. And then you can try again with a much easier version of it. Yeah, see? It might not be yellow enough though. Grab that color and try that. That looks kind of good. We can always come back and pick that again. Okay, so we picked this color. There's a lot of light right here. A lot of light coming here. Maybe this one actually does shine here because it's pointed this direction. But this light would grab this one here. Yep, I'm going to delete them. I'm still not loving it. I do like that color though. Curve it. Make sure it's curved. Make sure this one's curved too. Make the chest look fuller. Let's go brighter. Let's see if we can't. Not bad. Not bad, especially for the little amount of detail I've been trying to put into it here. Well, let's get out the mixer brush. There, that's better. Some lines must be straight and other lines must be smooth. Like this line here is very sharp. This line is very sharp. But other lines we want mixed very well. The mixture right here. We can mix these two together to blend them. Nothing wrong with that at all. This here, so it all can be soft and blended. Sometimes you can tap it. Other times you can drag it. But you never really know what you're going to get. You can make your brush smaller to get better angles. It's mostly just a blending tool. It can work really good and really bad. You kind of just got to play with it to figure out where it's useful and where it's just going to cause you headache. You can drag your colors like there. That kind of looks cool, even though it's dragged into the red there. You just kind of got to keep screwing with it until you get the kind of effect you're wanting. You can really make your paintings stand out and make them look finished very quickly if you do it right. Definitely want this more smooth and blended. And the same here. We want just a hint of that light. We can come back in and add super highlights at the very end. Let's try to just put some mud in your eye, kid. Let's draw over our painting. Design these hands a little bit better. I'm okay with leaving it a little sloppy like this. I think it looks very, I don't know, like we can put a highlight here and then just cover the rest of this in shadow. Just using a hard round brush, just going over the edges and making them tighter. Like you see how this has got a lot of black in it. We could do this with the hand too if we wanted, but it's fine for now. That's definitely a better, like maybe even a little tiny bit darker. And then like mixer brush it in a little bit because Add some complexity in our shadows with a little bit of darkness here and there, some extra. In the reds. Okay. Really liking that so far. Let's merge that down. Make sure we keep this on top and lock so we don't fuck it up. All right. Now we can definitely push the darks and the lights and add more light than what's on here, like especially on this side over here. Let's try flat texture. We could add closer to more of a yellow light and really get crazy with it over here on this side. We'll even try for a bluish light, but I think we're going to try to do that with a different layer once we get closer to being done. So let's get rid of this stuff and let's think about the background. And also, he's going to be in either in shadow or partially in shadow, or I'm not sure if I've decided on putting some buildings behind him. I really like, for instance, the way that they did this guy here. I would also like this one as well. Though, admittedly, we did not set our character up too good for that. We could put buildings like this in the background. And then blur them out. We could just find some buildings and just throw them in the background. This is definitely like AI, I think. Let's just find some buildings similar to this and then just like throw them in there and see what happens. We need to go over top of everything, including the lines, in order to get the effect we're looking for with the light, because that light in the background is yellow, and unless we want to change that, our highlights, at least on one part of the body, is going to have to be yellow. Now, they're kind of yellow on the right. We're going to have to do that on the left. Otherwise, it's not going to look right at all. Just darkening in this shape a little bit, make it look more authentic, I guess. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's already too strong, but we can turn the opacity down. Yeah, see how that immediately makes him look like he belongs in the scene? Getting hit from all that light in the background. The mask. The jaw here. Don't want to overdo it. This part is being hit too. Hey, look at that. Looks like the sun is setting right on him. It's going to change colors as well. And of course, down this arm. Not too much. We can always hit the highlights later. This is going to make you look like you are better than you actually are. It's certainly working for me. Definitely looks good like that. Let's see if we can't do one more rodeo of multiply. Well, let's first of all paint this dark back in, because we are going to make this hand dark along with this leg. Yeah, like that. So we'll come over here, hit the blue, and then just not too much. Especially with the legs. Make it seem like he's standing in the midst of something. I guess we ought to put the last of the webbing on, right? Why not make it look complete? This should do. Now, it doesn't look dark because it's in the light. See how that's not in the light? So it's a little bit... yeah, we'll just do this. Nice and simple, just to give a hint. 8/15, my birthday. 8/15/26. All right. Thank you all for watching.